Welcome, everybody, to another Comic Book Hot 10 brought to you by CBSI, comicbookinvest.com. This is the Hot 10 list for June 12th, 2020. We are joined again by the mighty Mel V and the one and only Bird City crew. Big shout out to everybody joining us in the chat. We already got some comments, some people watching us. We appreciate it, everybody. First, before we start, we want to give a big shout out to everybody out there. Be safe, stay safe, and more importantly, rest in peace, the one and only Denny O'Neil, legend that we lost in a very trying time, which is interesting considering what Denny O'Neil gave us, gave the comic world a more social aspect to comic book writing and stories in general. Probably no one other than him and Neil Adams have done more socially for the comic book community. So make sure you guys do yourself a favor. Go check out maybe his Green Lantern run or his Batman run. It will change you if you've never read it. Other than that, I think that we're going to go ahead and get started. So here we go.
All right. So our first honorable mention tonight is going to be War Adventures number 13. Written by Paul Newman, and Heath did the cover. Go ahead, Brian.
This is a very interesting book because it's kind of weird to see the commie strike on a book. I haven't even thought of that name in a long time. We all know that what Golden Age books are about, but this is a recent one that sold 6.5 at auction this week for $1,900 plus. Which Ben writes is pretty amazing because this exact book sold 4 months ago for over $500. It's another crazy cover that definitely a sign of the times in 1953. And he kind of asks a pretty interesting question. He says, what boundaries will covers from the 2020 push? And that's very interesting to think about because we look at some of these old covers from back in the 40s, 30s, 50s, and they're pretty shocking, to be honest, when you look at it.
Yeah,
and,
I was about. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was about to say I'm starting to get it. The thrill for these covers. These covers, they just don't give a fuck. That's what I like about these. I'm just starting to learn about them now since I've been on the show. And these covers, they have no value. They do not give a damn.
Nope.
So I'm starting to like them.
Absolutely. I love these things too because as a lot of people know, if you guys follow us, I've got very little to no filter because shit happens. And basically these Golden Age books have said shit happens and they put it on the cover. So hats off to these guys.
Amen. All right. On to the next one.
All right. The next one we have Punisher number 13, written by Matthew Rosenberg. Now, this is another one, since we were just talking about controversial covers, I'll let Brian explain a little bit more about why this one is relevant to the times.
Yeah, this is an interesting story. The story was written months ago, I imagine, and there is a little bit of controversy because we all know that the Punisher is a vigilante, and the way he deals with cops might not be in the best interest of police officers. And we're in a time right now where maybe we need to think about that a little bit more. So this is a controversy, whether, as Ben says, it's real or not, is selling. And he's basically kind of said he's not promoting or discounting this book, but, keep it civil if you plan on commenting because we're in a crazy times. But this book is selling, it was, I guess, cover price, but now it's in the $5 to $10 range. And there's been a lot of talk over the last week about this book. On top of it, I've also heard some of the low print run stuff for this book. So that could be pushing it a little bit. But just the controversy of all the police stuff.
When did this come out?
This is a 2019 book. So
really?
Yeah, 2019.
Kind of eerie, huh? Like
It is. It's
foreshadows
very eerie.
events.
Definitely never seen this one in stores. But
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting that if people ride that wave of what it implies, because I've got some friends that are cops, and we kind of talked a little bit before. The interesting thing to me about this one is it's cops to me are kind of like that bad review. You can have a fantastic product like the police force, and it takes one person and one bad review for people to jump behind.
Yep.
And then that's all that stands out. It's not all the good that they do. You know, if something goes down in my house, I'm calling the police. You know, I'm not gonna not call them. and I think that people will ride this wave for sure of these, you know, we talked about it. We got bad people in every field of business. Right. So I think this is gonna have some staying power just because of what the police force has meant to people over the last couple of months here.
Yeah.
There's good, like I said, there's good and bad in everything. There are good cops, there are bad cops. Nobody wants to defund the police department. We just want to get the bad cops out. That's all we want. That's all we want.
Yep.
That's all we want.
Like with anything, if I get a bad plumber at my house, I don't want his ass to be plumbing anywhere else.
Right.
If he don't fix my toilet right, he
that was
be
a
plumbing.
shitty analogy.
I'm not against plumbers. I'm just against bad plumbers.
There you
Hold
go.
on, we're gonna scroll up. Anthony dropped the mouse. We'll move on to number 10 here. All right, number 10.
Before we go on to number 10, I do want to give a quick shout out to Bird City Comics. Make sure you guys are going to check out Bird City Comics, Facebook.com/Bird City Comics. They're also on Instagram at Bird City Comics. Make sure you guys are checking out their live streams because they're pretty awesome. You guys have a very big following, not just with your live viewers, but it seems like you got quite a few reviews on some of these shows, hitting the 1,000 mark, a couple thousand mark. So they're doing something right over there. So make sure you guys go check it out.
The coolest thing about all of this is, you know, you're making it in social media when your kids get pissed off. Dad, I can't believe I'm on YouTube now. Wait till I start doing my TikTok videos. They're going to go nuts.
We're not allowed to do TikTok.
Yeah,
we're banned.
TikTok.
I want to give a shout out to my man TJ. Just met him today. He was interested in learning about comics and everything. I told him to come check out the top 10. You get a foot ahead of the game. So TJ, what up, man? Hope you're listening.
Yep. Shout out TJ. Hope you're watching, man. All right. On to number
10. We have G.I. Joe number 212 by Antonio Fuso. This is the variant cover.
Yeah, this is a sweet cover. It was funny because before the show we were talking with Laura, and Laura's like, I don't get why everybody loves this cover, because I called it a beautiful cover, and I had to explain to her a little bit about Snake Eyes lore and how much of an important character Snake Eyes is for G.I. Joe fans. And any Snake Eyes cover to a G.I. Joe fans is gonna, be wanted, but there's something about the red and the contrast and the I think they say Arashikash. I can't remember the clan, how you say the name, but that's his clan tattoo on his shoulder. If you guys know the story of Snake Eyes, he was basically like adopted by a ninja clan and taught how to fight, as an adopted young man. So that's a badass Snake Eyes cover. Death of Snake Eyes Part 1. This is from a couple of years ago. This was a pretty big storyline. Yeah, very big storyline. And the Snake Eyes movie is coming soon. So there's always going to be heat on Snake Eyes. But coming up with the movie coming up and this beautiful cover, it's very interesting.
I got to agree with Laura. I mean, it's all right. It ain't popping. It's all right.
It's okay.
Well,
right.
the interesting thing
is simplistic beauty. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's it didn't need. It's Snake Eyes. You put Snake Eyes on a cereal box, and the cereal is going to sell.
That's true. That is true.
No, Mel agrees with me. The end.
Well, Ben
got me.
Ben did write that there is very little info on this one, but a copy sold a couple of months ago for $14 shipped, and a copy sold this week for $100. There was also a couple listed in the $70 range. So he's basically, doesn't really understand it, but he says, in any case, good Snake Eyes covers sell well. So,
shout out to Bolo. This is the start of the Death of Snake Eyes storyline, which definitely put the G.I. Joe book back on the map. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, no, Bolo is 100% right. Shout out to Bolo, who is also a huge G.I. Joe fan. It's fun to get around and chat G.I. Joe stuff when other fans are around. We kind of get giddy like a schoolgirl. So, all right, on to number 10. Laura, take it away.
Number 9, actually.
Number 9, thank you.
Number 9, we have the New Guardians number 2. This is written by Steve Englehart and Carrie Bates. And yeah, this is an interesting one. I'll let Brian explain why. This is an interesting one.
And I love these obscure villains too. So yeah, this is gonna be good stuff right here, guys.
Well, actually, I'm gonna let Mel talk about this one.
Shout out to my man Shaw Leggett. Shaw legit. What up, baby? Yo, he was the one who put me on about this character, Snow. What's his name? Snowflame. I would say Snowguard. Snowflame. So basically, his powers are he stores cocaine and gets powers, which is fucking crazy. He loved this fucking character, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
No cocaine and get powers.
That's it. I don't know. I don't do coke. I just drink a lot.
I just do alcohol.
You gotta love that cover though, man. Like when you find out what the character really is, and you see that cover and it says Jungle Snow.
That's crazy.
And this book came out during the whole, hardcore cocaine, importation that was happening, from
that's still happening.
Still happening, but the cartels had a stranglehold on that, man, and it was being pumped into this country like no other. So, crazy villain. And interestingly enough, this book didn't sell well for the longest time, even though a lot of comic people really wanted to find this book.
Sean told me about this book when we first started talking about it. It was like maybe $11. What is it going for now?
Well, right now it's hitting 35 to 50, which is crazy. I mean, for a book that you could have found in dollar bins, a couple of days ago, it was selling in the $25 to $30 range, but now it's in the $35 to $50 range. And like Mel says, not too long ago, this was a $5 to $10 book, if you were lucky. And
I should have bought it then. I was like, I'm not buying no cocaine book.
Yes. That's comic books, though. You never know.
You're right. You're right. That's why we love them. Speculators love them or hate them. This is an exciting time for comics, and
never throw shit away. Never give shit away. Never throw shit away.
You got it.
And the cool thing with this book too is that it's not one of those covers when you're rifling through a box. You're not going to catch it with your eye either. You're going to skip over this bad boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're right.
So, big shout out to everybody in the chat tonight. We really appreciate it. On to number 8.
All right, number 8, we have Legion of Superheroes. This is number 6. What's dog barking?
That's me. That's Khoi, and she's shut up.
We gotta have a Khoi appearance.
Written by Brian Bendis, and the artist is Ryan Sook. That's funny.
Yep. This is cool here. So we got a first appearance of a Golden Lantern. And the Lantern Spectrum, I think, is super badass. I was trying to explain this to Laura.
Yeah.
Kind of how they all have their inner strength on what powers them. But do you guys know anything? What's the Gold Lantern? Is it just like the neighbor that helps you unload your car? Is he just got a heart of gold? Or, when you got groceries? Like what? How do they power up?
Well, this is interesting because I feel like for some reason I really feel like we've had a Gold Lantern before, because I feel like there's been a lantern for every color already, even white. So
has there been a Black Lantern?
There's been a Black Lantern. There,
really?
Wasn't there was a whole series written on the Black Lanterns.
Yeah, well, not that Darkest Night run, or what? I'm thinking White Lanterns.
Blackest Night. Blackest Night. Yep.
Not John, there you go. I'm the Brown Lantern.
Not John Stewart, but like a color black.
Oh, yeah. The Blackest Lanterns, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they were all dead, and they were coming back from the grave. Remember Necron and all that fun stuff. So one of the greatest runs ever, and it is. Jeff Johns' magnum opus, in my opinion, started with Rebirth and then ended with Blackest Night. But as Mel was kindly alluding to, and a big shout out back to Denny O'Neil and John Stewart. Denny O'Neil, who helped create John Stewart with Neil Adams, and that was a big character at the time that really needed to happen. And if you guys don't know the history of Jon Stewart, make sure you go check out a Wikipedia article.
What's the history of Jon Stewart other than Brian McClay?
Every other comic book fan.
Oh my god. Okay.
You know, Brian McClay knows some shit about some stuff. He knows some things about some stuff. So.
Oh my god. Anyway.
This is an interesting one because we were kind of talking before. There is some scuttle out there about this maybe not being the first Gold Lantern, and that there might have been a Walmart book that a Gold Lantern maybe showed up. I don't know how true that is. I tried to find it. I couldn't find much. But yeah, a lot of talk about the lanterns. Big shout out JJ Maxwell says not sure they want to start a trend or shades of lanterns. Next up, magenta lantern. Yeah. Yeah. And Aaron Yee says Gold Lantern has to compete against Yellow Hulk. That's the first thing I thought of is like, oh, we got a Yellow Hulk and now everybody's going crazy about the Gold Lantern. So it's
hi Yee.
What up, Yee?
Comics are fun. Says wasn't Larfleeze a Gold Lantern? No, Larfleeze was an Orange Lantern, I believe. So, and the only Orange Lantern, whereas most of his other lanterns were constructs. So,
you get around the colors and just get shitty powers. I mean, what does the Orange Lantern do? I don't want this ring. What the fuck is this ring? I don't want a fucking orange ring. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck what it does.
And we need a pastel lantern. Hey, I'm the pastel lantern.
I want some green shit. Just orange shit out of here.
Well, on to number 7, and we had to have one of these books on the list.
All right, number 7. Of course, we have to have Star Wars. So here we go. Star Wars: Age of Republic Special #1 by Khoi Pham. The variants.
Yep. So we got what was this at $5 to $10 last week?
Khoi Pham variant.
Yeah, we're up to about $80 now.
What?
Listings in the 100. We got Ahsoka. She's gaining all kinds of hotness. I told Laura, I said with Ahsoka, she's like, Ahsoka, I said, we're watching Clone Wars. Me and you are watching some cartoons and ordering pizza tonight because yes, she's rolling over into everything.
And I said, I want to soak up my feet in some hot water. And he's like, no, boy, not that kind of Ahsoka.
Did it. The Ahsoka stuff is crazy, and people are not only looking. I mean, the first appearance is way out of reach for most people, including myself, which is a bummer because I've been looking for that book for a while, and now they're just looking for any appearances. And this is a quote unquote continuity appearance, so people are loving this. And if you don't understand the whole canon, non-canon Star Wars stuff, good luck. That is just a nightmare. But yeah, and everybody loves Asajj Ventress. So
yeah,
beautiful cover.
Yeah, the cover is who's this bullheaded motherfucker?
That's that's Asajj Ventress.
She looks she look crazy. I like that.
Yeah, she's nuts. Kick-ass character. I believe she was a Dooku was her teacher. If I remember correctly. Yeah.
I was going to say that if you look at her lightsaber in the background, it's got that curve to it like Dooku's did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So very cool book. So yeah, very cool book.
We got some.
Wow, you guys, really? The curve of the lightsaber gave it away for you?
Yeah.
Yo, we on it. Yeah, we on it.
How do you guys know? Okay. Anyway,
We on it.
Obviously, right?
Star Wars fans are Star Wars fans, but yeah, like Anthony said, $100 listings for a book that was $5 to $10. So very crazy. All right, on to the next one.
Number 6, we have The Last of Us #1, written by Faith Hicks.
Yep. So he writes here, this book seems to have settled in the $75 range. Prices are jumping up to about $110. And if anybody is a fan of this video game, it's fantastic. It's visually beautiful. Post-apocalyptic seems to be the theme, and it's a survival game. And right now, again, this is feeding off of 2020. People are just trying to survive anyway. So yeah, this is the deal here.
Nice.
You like
the sequel came out. This could also be driving up the book. The sequel came out, or it's coming out either next week. I think next week, the 16th.
Yeah.
So that could be driving up the book too. It's a great book. I had it, and I sold it. I believe I sold it too soon.
Tough book to get in high grade because of the cover, if I remember correctly. And there's a variant for this. I think this came in. There was a special variant that came in.
Naughty Dog variant. I forgot what the requirements. I think it came with the game, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. Pretty sure I'm wrong, but it came with something. That,
and it's very hard to get in high grade because that variant, if I remember correctly, has one of those almost like thicker stock covers that shows up with spine ticks, something fierce.
Yeah, so when Dark Horse does their bindings on their book, it's got almost I don't want to say a bulge, that's bad, but it's got they don't put a hard press on a lot of their books, and then when you get one with a black edge like this, typically you get a lot of color break right by the staples, and you can't press those out, and then you got a black border almost around it, so they didn't even bring the buildings all the way over to hide them. So I've seen a lot of these. Sorry.
No.
Anyway,
it was worth a shot.
I know about some stuff too.
On to number 5.
Number 5. Hold on here. Batman, number 22.
92.
It's a Jimenez 1 in 25 variants.
His mama calls him Jorge. I'm gonna call him Jorge.
we were having a discussion. Is it George or is it Jorge? I always call him George.
Jorge.
I'm a Latino, so when I go for a job interview, I'm Anthony. Well, my mama calls me Antonio.
Antonio. Guys, let us know in the comments. Is this George? Like George of the
Jefferson?
Jungle?
Jefferson, yeah.
George of the Jungle?
Jefferson.
Okay, fine. Or is it Jorge? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the interesting thing is Punchline.
Yeah, so pre-selling pre-COVID, I actually ordered this book, and my LCS was like $50. I was like, yeah, no problem. And about 2 weeks later, I was like, damn, I feel like I paid too much for that because the buying was really low right now because the print runs were going to stop just with the printer shutting down. But you got on here, $30, $35 is what they were pre-selling for. We're back in the $40 to $50 range, which makes me feel better about my purchase. And it's the Punchline train. I think this is a nice character for DC to start bandwagoning on, but taking off. They were due for some new juice. We got a lot of Marvel people coming out with stuff, but this Punchline character, I think, has got something to her.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's what they wanted to keep Harley as because she's like badass, no nonsense. Harley just became like a fucking joke. So they need a killer female who's no nonsense. And they keep down the road with her being a killer, no nonsense assassin, Joker's girlfriend, whatever they want to do. Punchline is going to be here to stay. And I mean, they did the same thing. They did to Deadpool the same thing they did to Harley. They made all slapsticky and shit.
Yeah, and you know what's cool for me is the dynamic that the Joker and Punchline are going to share because Joker is all those things. Now I feel like they're almost going to have to use him to reel her in, which is going to be a whole new dynamic for this guy. Because, on top of being just brutal, the guy's got a really deep thought process. I don't know if she has that. So in order for plans to carry out and storylines, I think they're going to play really well off each other. We're going to see a different side of the Joker character coming up. Shout
out to Christopher Rinstorm. I'm pretty sure that's the name, but I'm sorry. The one to watch is definitely Joker, the 80th anniversary, because her origin is in that book.
Yeah,
there you go.
And this kind of reminds me of I'm gonna space on the name of the movie, but they made 2 movies. They were like British undercover agents. It had the guy that was in the Elton John movie. And Samuel Jackson was the bad guy in the first one.
Kingsman.
Kingsman. The Mark Millar book, yeah.
Yeah, and this character kind of reminds me of that character in Kingsman. Samuel Jackson's like right hand chick. I forget her name. She was like an assassin, really fucking badass. So that kind of reminds me.
Now that you're saying that, do you remember Kill Bill?
Yes, exactly. Yep. My man. Yep. Definitely.
Mel, right here, bro.
Great mind.
Right here.
Great minds think alike. Amen.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
All right. This next one, I love this cover. Have at it, Laura.
All right. Number 4. This is a good one. We have Spider-Man. Number 2. For the second?
Yeah.
Either way. Number 1.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Michael Turner Virgin variant. Now, this is done by...
Well, Michael Turner's the artist. You got Brian Michael Bendis as the writer, which the guy doesn't get enough credit. I like Bendis as a writer. Mm-hmm. This gorgeous Tedesco is 150 plus. Now, Brian, tell me what's going on here. You got a Michael Turner variant, but then or Virgin, and it's a Tedesco 150.
So we all know that Michael Turner died, unfortunately, of cancer many years ago.
Right.
One of the best artists in comic book history. Still huge fans to this day, and of course, he died passed away way before Miles was even created. So they kind of call them Turner variants because they're put out by Turner's company that is still around, that's still running stuff. And they still got books that they're publishing. So they had, I believe it's Julian Tedesco, I believe is his first name, do the cover for this for Aspen, and they just call it the Michael Turner Virgin variant because Aspen was Michael Turner's company. So, but as a lot of fans know, they use a lot of old Michael Turner art that was unused for new variants. So you will see unseen Michael Turner art show up every once in a while.
Yeah, what's cool about this is that he does pay homage to Turner's art style. So when you look at the torso and how he draws that there, it's very Turner-esque. So when I read Tedesco, I was like, that's a Turner figure.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to give a big shout out to that guy and paying homage the right way. So
This
yeah,
cover is amazing.
It is.
This is one where I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of gets me, and I hate to nitpick a beautiful cover, is the left eye seems a little off, does it? And maybe I just ruined this cover for you guys.
Yeah, the proportion on the left eye looks wider than the I guess it's his right eye and we're looking on the left side.
Yeah.
It's fucking still a badass fucking cover. I don't give a fuck how big
it is. It is beautiful. Beautiful cover. LOA says don't sleep on the 1 in 10 and the Marquez 1 in 25. Yeah, beautiful cover. So
yep.
All right. Before we get into the top three, I want to give another quick shout out. Make sure you guys are going to check out the list on comicbookinvest.com. The list is written and released every Friday morning. Of course, you will always see it on the right-hand side of comicbookinvest.com. But more than that, do yourself a favor and go check out some of the amazing articles over at comicbookinvest.com. Of course, one of the most amazing writers on comicbookinvest.com is Topher, the one and only Topher.
Yes, sir.
Recently put out a new True First, which is really amazing. And if you guys really want to get deep into first appearances and spec game, Topher is somebody to follow. Unbelievable. We can never talk him up too much just because he is that good. So make sure you guys go check that out.
Topher have you buying fucking quarter gumball tattoos for a first appearance because he's that good. He'll fucking break that shit down crazy.
Yeah. Hey, so when I started this whole comic book company, I tell you guys, anybody that's watching, right? I lived on CBSI website. Wednesday Warriors, guys. This is the spot you want to be. You want to dig in those back issue bins. Make sure you guys do follow CBSI's page because this will make and break your collection, and get you ahead in the game. So yeah, big shout out to CBSI. Laura knows I had a ritual, I had a routine, and CBSI is a part of it weekly. So
huge part of it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have been able to do this without them. All right, number 3, we have Strange Academy number 1, and of course, we got to bring to the list Peach Momoko. This is the Virgin variant.
Yeah.
The writer's Scotty Young.
Yeah, who's that guy?
Yeah, it's very interesting, right?
He's writing the writer.
He's writing now. He started writing with Fairyland, right?
Yep.
The Fairyland.
Oh, yeah.
What's that called?
I Hate Fairyland, and then he did Bully Wars, which my son is a huge fan of. Bully Wars. Bully Wars was fantastic. I actually read it with him, and it's a pretty good read. So
I thought it was called Fuck Fairyland.
It was, yeah. I remember the books that. Well, I don't think it was called that, but they did a variant for it. So, yeah. But Ben writes on this one, eBay pre-sales a month ago were $40 for one raw, and 9.8s were about $110. Now raw sales are topping at $110 and 9.8s at $150 plus. Like it or not, Peach stuff is selling like crazy right now. And man, if that ain't the truth, it seems like there's 3 things that are just going wild, and that's Peach covers, Star Wars, and Miles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful Peach cover. I mean, we talked last week and the week before that personally, some of the Peach covers I don't like. This is a nice one. I like this one.
Yeah,
it is. It's nice. It's better. It's
Amen.
better than a lot of other covers. I don't want to say the wrong shit.
Yeah.
No, you're good. This is a non-judgment platform.
This is a safe zone.
This is
for
a
you,
safe space,
okay?
Mel.
We're all here for you, buddy.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Had this been drunk in chat, it'd have been a different story, and I would have woke up to a whole bunch of shit. But this is a good.
Well,
Mel is so stupid, man. It's all right.
It's all right.
It's good. It's good. It's good. I like it. I like it. I like it. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Well,
no, seriously, no bullshit. I like it.
we've already had one Miles book on the list, and I'm sorry, guys, but we got a couple more.
Yes.
All right.
Laura, get into it. I'm pulling for you, girl. I'm pulling for you. Come on, say it.
All right, I got this. Number 2, Spider-Man. Number 1 by Adi Granov variant. Now this is a hip hop variant.
I'm with you.
To the Nas cover. Matic. Who knows their shit? I do.
You don't need me anymore. I'm out.
Hey, Brian, go grab me a White Claw real quick. We're gonna knock this out real quick. Yeah, so you got the Miles Morales right here. You got the Nas. I showed her the cover. I pulled it up. I said, "This is the Illmatic Nas cover," and she was like, "This is pretty badass." And I said, "Yeah, Marvel did a line of these. Yeah, you got an iconic character with an iconic hip hop artist. You got New York in the background. Everything that you want in a book is on this cover." Right here, you got it. Looks like a few weeks ago, $10 to $25 book. Right now, we're up in the $100 range, Brian. And anybody that's a hip hop fan, you know this cover. So it's crazy. This is good stuff right here. You know, Mel, this is yours.
This is my wheelhouse right here. Illmatic, one of the greatest albums of all time, if not the greatest album.
Yep.
Now, and you got Miles Morales, one of the hottest characters out now. Combine those two together. And $100 book. I remember when this book was, when the movie came out, it was $40, and I had featured it on the East of Elevation. I was like, damn, this is a $40 book. Yeah, I don't want to get one for $40. Wish I would have.
Yeah.
This right here. I'm sorry to cut you off, but this right here should be going nuclear soon.
Yes.
Amen on that. I'm really surprised that this book didn't get hotter faster. Probably should be over $100 books by next week if the Miles stuff continues to just go crazy, which I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. The new PlayStation 5 was just announced.
Yes,
one of the games that they talked about, that they have coming out is the Miles Morales Spider-Man game, and everybody is super hyped for that. And the movie is coming out soon. The Edge of Spider-Verse 2 stuff. Amazing character. We've talked about him ad nauseum on the show. Bird City has talked about how important this character is to young kids, and I think that is one of the most exciting things. If we can breathe new blood, young blood into this community, maybe we can save it. There's a lot of craziness going on, and we got to do everything we can to breathe some energy and excitement into this community. And I think we're doing that with Miles.
Yeah.
Well said, Brian.
That was you.
Very well
said. Just hit end stream right now. That was it.
Show over.
Yeah, you hit all the major points right there with that Miles Morales. So yeah, I'm on board.
But unfortunately, we have one more book, and it's another Miles Morales.
Boom.
Yeah, we've had this on for how many weeks now?
God, it's been like 4 weeks that either the first print or the second or the third or fourth print has been on the list. Last week, it was the 4th printing but second print variant that was on the list, which is the all white cover, which is a close-up of Miles taking off the mask, which was hitting $40 last week. And it's a book we've talked about a long time.
We found some of those.
Yeah, great book. But you can't go wrong with the original, and the original is selling like crazy. I've seen so many screenshots of people showing sold number sales for this book, and it's outrageous. 9.8's above 1,000. Raw's just going nuclear. Second, third, fourth print variants, all that crazy stuff. Yeah. Absolutely crazy. So a $300 Raw. That's
you see me shaking my head, and I ran through 40s. 4. I sold one for $36.
Dude, look, Laura and I had an 8.5 CGC, and we started as an auction at $85. This thing climbed in the $200 range, and we're talking an 8.5 graded copy. And I was getting nervous, thinking somebody's going to send me a pissed off.
You ended the auction.
I had to call it. I'm
He
like, all right,
called the
this is getting it was getting ridiculous. I'm like, I don't want some pissed off email tomorrow. So I had to call it, and I'm like, all right, guys, enough. Like this book is crazy, and when people see it, they go nuts.
Yeah,
That's why you shop with Bird City Comics.
Oh, speaking of Bird City Comics, did you get a hit on my bounty?
Oh, you know I did. I got a couple good leads for you.
Okay,
Chuck
really?
has something about that, right?
Yeah, the comic community that follows Bird City has sent me some links and stuff. I need to forward them to you on some ones they tracked down.
So
Please
let's talk about that book real quick. If you want to make it a little bit easier, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's no spec in it whatsoever, so you can't cry to me about Pump It Up and all the other nonsense people cry about. It's Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers Scotty Young variant. It's like a frog on the cover. The reason why I like that cover is like it's very Don Bluth, Dragon's Lair looking cover, and it's been impossible for me to find. I want the cover for myself. There's no spec in it whatsoever. Don't even go looking for spec. It's nothing. It just means something to me. There you go. Very Don Bluthy, very Dragon's Lairish. I want this book. I want it.
I just want it.
Look,
Yeah, I just want it.
Yeah.
Can a man want something and have it without being criticized for it?
I have a feeling you're going to be getting some information soon with Bird City Comics on the case.
Thank you. Appreciate
We're on
it.
it.
Make sure you guys, again, go check out Bird City Comics crew over at facebook.com, Bird City Comics, and on Instagram at Bird City Comics. Make sure you check out the Mighty Mel V YouTube channel. You never know when something fun is going to pop up.
I'm feeling really talkative tonight. I'm feeling really nice. We've got Anthony and Laura here. It's fucking Chad, son.
And real quick, Brandon Barton left a message there. Do not put that on the screen, please, Brian. And a quick side note, Brian, you got the best hair in the game, my guy.
I know,
Look
right?
at that fucking sexy ass locks.
It's like glossy.
Woo! You remember those shampoo commercials when the girls were like,
The Dallas Sassy.
yeah, that's the stuff right there.
Thank you, brother. It works. It works out for me sometimes.
What was that? What was that bowling movie? Fuck.
Oh yeah. With Bill Murray.
No, not Bill Murray.
No, Bill Murray and Woody Harrelson.
No, John Goodman. Fucking classic. Come on, fellas.
Oh yeah, the dude.
The dude.
About
Dude.
The dude.
Yes, he is. Just call me the dude.
The dude.
Big thanks everybody for checking it out. I don't know. Mel has dropped a couple hints, so you might want to keep an eye on his channel sometime soon. We never know what's going to happen, and that channel can run late into the night sometimes.
Hold on, let me see
you guys. Oh boy,
we got about a couple of hours.
Look at you, classy ass with that bottle of wine.
Thank you, everybody that joined us in the chat this week. We really appreciate it, and make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow Bird City Comics. And make sure to subscribe to the Mighty Mel V channel. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next time. Say goodbye.
Peace.
Bye.